Live here at Universal Orlando, and we are at VelociCoaster. This is absolutely an incredible attraction. I just got off the attraction, so we're just going to show you exactly what you can see from outside in the park. So right now we are in Islands of Adventure, and this is the Jurassic Park area. Now, half of Jurassic Park has been kind of converted to Jurassic World out here, if you're not familiar. This area used to be the Triceratops encounter from a long time ago, and then they had a raptor encounter for a while, and that just actually moved across the street over here, so it's just across the pathway. And now we're just going to wait here for a second for a train to come by because it's absolutely incredible. Now, right now, it appears they are running about 2 trains. This coaster has 5 trains in total. They can run 4 at a time. They've been dispatching between every 1 to 4 minutes, so we haven't quite figured out what their true dispatch interval is, which will really determine the capacity of the thing. But it is absolutely incredible. So take a look at this. I can kind of hear it moving now inside. Here we go. They're launching. There they go. And they go straight up over there. Hi, Madison. How are you? This is our first time doing this from Islands of Adventure in Florida. So here we go. It's going to come right around in front of us in a second here. And that went through the first launch, and then there actually is a second launch. Check this out. They're going to launch really fast and go all the way up there to the top. You catch airtime up there, and then it is an 80-degree drop, or 85 degrees, something like that. And then it goes around. You go upside down for extended periods of time. It is absolutely incredible. There's no over-the-shoulder restraint or anything like that. It is just a lap bar, the lap bar comes from over the shoulders, but it's not really an over the shoulder. So you definitely feel like you can fall out, and it's probably one of the best coasters I have ever been on. So I encourage you guys to ask questions. Oh, look at that. Yeah, they're dispatching pretty close now. Ask questions away. I just got off the ride. If you're wondering how this entire thing actually fits in, I was really confused on how on earth this entire thing makes sense. Why would you build a raptor paddock and then have a roller coaster going through? Well, I don't want to spoil too much, but the pre-show actually kind of explains it, that this is a horrible idea. There is no reason on earth why you would want to put riders in such danger, with live raptors around a roller coaster track. It just doesn't make any sense. And Chris Pratt's character from Jurassic World definitely tells us a lot about that. So it's very clear that this is been forced by the corporate guys at Jurassic World, and that's why it's happening here. So Gabe, this is at Universal Orlando at Universal's Islands of Adventure. Today was the first day of the annual pass holder preview. It is opening in early summer, so it's not too far. We're hoping for some soft openings, hopefully by Memorial Day. I don't know. We'll see. Nothing's been confirmed, but it is an absolutely amazing coaster. If you've been over here in the last year or two, you might have been on Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure, and that is an amazing coaster as well. So this is definitely, up in that same category. The only thing I would say about this is that it's very much screen-based, except for an animatronic raptor in the queue. That is amazing. What surprised me the most about this ride, the air time and how much I felt like I was going to fall out of the thing. I mean, I went, gosh, there's a portion of this coaster where you are over water and it just decides to invert for no reason, and you're going upside down over water. And it feels like you're upside down forever, even though it's only like a second or two. But man, you really do feel like you're going to fall out on this thing. It's quite amazing. It's perfectly safe, though. I've been assured that by everyone. Except for Chris Pratt, who thinks that this is a horrible idea and everybody should sign waivers. Because there's live raptors in here, So the queue itself is absolutely amazing. part of it, I almost like the queue better than the coaster. If you really like the thematic experience, because once you're on the coaster, everything is screen-based or a statue. There's no animatronics on the ride itself. So that's slightly disappointing, but it's kind of understandable. But yeah, leave comments, ask questions. Once again, I am Bill, and I just rode the Jurassic World VelociCoaster here at Islands of Adventure at Universal Orlando. So this is the annual pass holder preview, and we're going to walk around the park a little bit and kind of show, what this thing looks like from a different angle, because we've been looking at this angle for a little bit. So let's see the launch one more time, because the launch is really cool, and then we'll get out at this particular spot. All right, it's coming around. Here it comes. Woo! There it goes. All right. So, all in all, this is an amazing addition to the park. The one thing that's kind of a little bit jarring is the Jurassic Park architecture clashes with the Jurassic World architecture, because with Jurassic Park, you have, very warm colors. It almost kind of reminds me of some of the Disney Lodge properties, like Animal Kingdom Lodge or Wilderness Lodge. And then you have the Jurassic World architecture, which is, grayish. So it's a little odd placed, but it kind of makes sense. The previews are actually already sold out, so they actually already finished distributing all those. So if you got one, you got one. I think that they did, I want to say 4 days worth of previews for the annual pass holders. So, and they already completed the team member previews yesterday. So honestly, after the annual pass holder previews, there's probably a good chance they'll maybe close for a couple days and then reopen. They might just do soft openings. Who knows? Because they've only been running, 2 trains, it makes me think that maybe they have some issues with some of the trains. So they'll ramp up with more trains as time goes on. It's not too crowded today. Are there animatronics on the ride? In the queue, there are animatronics. There's an amazing animatronic raptor in the queue. And man, that thing is lifelike. If you're familiar with the scene in Jurassic World where Chris Pratt's character actually has the raptor kind of like it's like in a muzzle, kind of, sticking out, and almost like a guard that goes around the raptor. That's what it looks like in the queue. But that's really pretty amazing. Bro, why were you on light mode? I don't know what light mode is. If you explain what light mode is, I will let you know, but I don't know what light mode is, so. You know what, Laura? She asked, you don't know if you could handle a lap bar and no shoulder harnesses. You really do feel secure, at least when you get on. It's when you start going sideways and upside down where you really start feeling like you're going to fall out. So if you take a look, the preview is all done for the day. But this is, looks like there's just a lot of people, hanging out here. You can kind of look down there. That's where they scan you into the preview. That's where the line was earlier. We'll try to go around and get a better view from the Powder Bridge. By the way, if you haven't been here lately, they rebuilt the lockers for Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. And that's what the back of this building is here. So on this side, it kind of looks like something out of Jurassic Park. But then the theming changes right on the edge there. You kind of see it and it becomes part of the rockwork of the mountains. So. Nathan said, how long was the queue? Any tips you suggest for people going to previews in the next couple of days? If you have a preview time, stick to that time. They will not let you in the line early. That's the one thing I'll tell you. But be expected that you're going to wait. I still waited about half an hour. I'm a little bit of a special case, though, because I like to kind of hang out in the queue and look at everything because I just love the details so much. So that's a little bit different for me than it would be most people. But yeah, no, the queue is definitely one of my favorite parts. So I waited in the queue a lot longer than most people, but I'd expect to spend about half an hour. The good news is that the lockers are all the way through the queue, except maybe about 10 minutes before you get on board. So you're able to take your things with you, as long as they're not big things. And they actually have a bag test at the front, so you can see if your stuff will actually fit in the locker. I think that's the first time I've ever seen that at an attraction. So that's really, really well done. It's also really easy to get on for pretty much any body type, from what I understand. I had no issues, and I'm not a small guy. I'm a pretty big guy, and it was no issue getting on the attraction. So if you can look straight ahead, we're about to see, I think, one of the trains come up here. It gets really close to Harry Potter, so it's kind of cool. So just wait for the Jurassic. It's going to come around in a second here. My tips would be prepared, because the extended queue, when they're using it, is not in the shade. So it was quite hot. I mean, I think we're approaching 95 degrees today. It said, my watch says it's 91, but it felt like it was more like 95. So maybe there's a higher feel like temperature. There it is. This thing is really smooth and quiet too. Also, if you decide to wait for the front row, expect to wait probably twice as long as you would otherwise. So yeah, the front row is a lot longer of a wait than the other line, and you will not have your phone while you're waiting for the front row or anything. So keep that in mind.
When we're going around these corners on the ride,
it's really well designed, though. I don't think I've seen such an efficient queue in all my years of, I teach theme park design and management courses. I consult for the industry. I do all these things. It's a really well designed queue. A guy named Zach, he's essentially a manager or supervisor level here, and he did a lot of the design work for the queue, and I think he hit it out of the park. In fact, the queue is almost, operationally, he did such a great job on making sure it flows well. So it's just really well done. I think the only negative is, honestly, that the theming is so good in the queue that it's just moving a little bit more slowly than it should, because people want to see the whole video loops. Mr. DNA is back in the queue. It's really fun. We'll show you some videos. We'll post them to our social media channels a little bit later today, and show you the videos of the queue, because we definitely have those. And we should have an article in the next couple days on our in-depth review and all the details, on what to expect. Again, it is annual pass holder preview right now, and unless you've already made your reservations, you're not going to get one now. And you cannot bring guests, so don't come here and start asking annual pass holders to bring you in. They can't. But it is an amazing, amazing attraction. So I highly recommend it. It's not for the faint at heart, but if you can do Hulk, you can do this. Your feet are not suspended. Your feet are, you're really tall. Your feet actually hit the ground of the train vehicle, but your feet are just kind of lifted up a little bit above the platform of the train. But they're not suspended. Like if you look down, there's a floor. So it's not like, see what the Florida people would know here. It's not like Kraken at SeaWorld. That's a floorless coaster. Now this one definitely has a floor, so don't worry about that. I wear sandals. They stayed on the whole time. I'm not sure if glasses would stay on. It is a pretty crazy ride that way. So it's pretty insane on how great it is. Again, if you guys want to ask questions, I just rode VelociCoaster. It was a fantastic attraction. So it was a lot of fun. And I am happy to answer any questions. I'm going to walk around the park a little bit, so that'll give you a little bit better idea of how the park is doing today. Other coasters to ride. I'm sorry, Muzamil. I'm sorry, I don't know if Muzamil. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but to answer your question, other coasters that you should ride before this, I'd say if you can ride the Incredible Hulk at Universal, you'd be fine. If you want to build yourself up to it, the Flight of the Hippogriff is pretty good. And then I'd say do Hagrid if you can get a reservation for it, and then Hulk. And if you can do Hulk, then you can do this one. But that's how I would build myself up for it. On the ride portion, there really aren't a whole lot of show scenes. There's some statues around. So the storyline is that you are on a raptor run. So the raptors are running with you. And they built a roller coaster in the raptor paddock because it's a horrible idea, but they did it anyway because Jurassic World has no regard for guest safety, I guess. That's actually the storyline. So it's quite funny, but that's it. And I would say that the only scenes that are in the attraction are during the launches. And everything else, I mean, you can see the raptors as on screens during the launches, but everything else is a statue as you go on the coaster. So it's not like, I mean, if you're looking for a show scene like Hagrid's, you're not going to see that. Looks like Hagrid's is closed right now for a delay. That's too bad. Yes, you do have to go through a metal detector, but the good news is that you can bring your stuff through the queue, and the metal detectors are after the lockers, and the lockers are way at the end of the queue. So after you put your stuff in the locker, you're only going to be without your phone for maybe about 10 or 20 minutes while you ride, and then you'll get it back right in. So not a big deal. If you have bigger items, though, they have different lockers for you set up in the bottom floor of the Discovery Center. So they actually integrated a lot of this into the Discovery Center, so it was quite good. So we are walking right now. I am planning to walk to the front of the park to give you kind of an idea, because from there's a vantage point where you can see the entire coaster at the same time with Jurassic World behind it. So it's absolutely a beautiful spot to take a look around. And this will give you a good idea of the crowd levels. Looks like the fountain is active and scaring the scaring the guests. I love to see that, Disney doesn't seem to have a lot of their water effects turned on, but Universal does. So it is. It's busy, but it's not uncomfortable. That's pretty much it is. I'd say that if you come here, especially in the afternoon, I think the park's open until 9 today. It's also the last day of Mardi Gras, so we might go over there and see the last food from Mardi Gras of the year. They kept extending it. I think they extended Mardi Gras twice. So Mardi Gras was a lot of fun here. And they turned it into a food festival this year. So that actually made for some very fun phone calls. I live in Orlando most of the time. The other time I live in California. And, going back and forth, when I'm in Orlando, if I tell people I'm in Canada right now, they just automatically assume, oh, you're in Canada inside Epcot. Or, if I'm in Italy right now, I'm in Italy inside Epcot. Well, now you can be at Canada or Italy at Universal Studios Florida because of the food and wine Mardi Gras festival they're doing. So that's kind of funny. Yes, there are capacity limits that are set for Universal Orlando. However, there's no legal limit per se. So that's not an issue. But there are capacity limits that Universal is putting into place of their own doing. So. We should get a good view of the coaster from over here down this pathway. Here's some trivia for you. If you don't know, this park was actually built to have nighttime entertainment around the lagoon. And as such, there's an entire trail system that goes down to the water's edge in every land. Now, I will warn you, if you're used to being able to walk down to the water in Jurassic Park, you can't do that anymore because that's now become part of the extended queue for VelociCoaster. So keep that in mind. So there it is. It's a pretty nice view. I'm going to see if we can get a little closer to it. I think we can. Even tables set up over here. Oh, that's perfect. Oh, this is a wonderful spot. This is absolutely gorgeous. All right, this is my recommendation. If you want to come here and just watch VelociCoaster, come over behind Mythos and look on the water's edge. and you can just watch the coaster go around. We're going to see it rocket up in just a second here, so this will be really nice. There it goes. Woo! It's really an amazing coaster. It's the actual coaster portion, like when, you know, from dispatch until we got back into the station was more than 2 minutes. I think that's because we went into a brake run and stood there for a second, but 2 minutes is actually a pretty long time for a coaster. So, and there's no lift hills. It's just all powered launches, so that's really cool on its own. What? I don't know the top speed. Do you know the top speed of a VelociCoaster? 70 miles an hour? 70 miles an hour. It appears, if you're wondering who I asked, it appears they have a spotter out here just looking at the attraction. So, but yeah, he works here, so he would know. It's 70 miles an hour is the top speed. It looks like it's a either 80 or 85 degree drop right there. That's it right up there. That's incredible. So, wondering if you knew about the information that leaked that we might be seeing a new land coming to Universal Orlando. I've looked at the buildings. It could be Mario Land. No, I know a lot about the new park that's coming. That's Epic Universe, but you know, that's a little bit different. So. Yeah, this attraction is so much fun. Once you get on, I'll walk you through the whole queue, you know, so you understand like what the experience is like. First, you have the test seat in front and everything, so you can test and see if you enjoy it, and you can make sure your stuff fits in the locker. And then after you go inside, the first portion of the queue has a beautiful statue of multiple raptors, and if you stick around in that room for a while, the lights and the music are synchronized, and it's absolutely really gorgeous. If you are familiar with the Jurassic movie franchise, the very first Jurassic Park film begins with this kind of foreboding drum, and then it just kind of sticks on that low note, and then it does it again, and it's actually synchronized to that with the lighting in the first scene of the queue. And then it moves in to a Mr. DNA movie. And Mr. DNA is kind of there as the safety character. He tells you about what you're about to do today, that you are about to go and experience a raptor run, so the coaster will move with the same speed. It looks like we just, it's like a party happening here, so I'm going to back away from these guys. So, but yeah, I'm going to sit down over here. It's kind of nice. So anyway, Mr. DNA tells you that, hey, you are there to do a raptor run, and they have built a roller coaster in the raptor paddock. And as you move forward through the queue, you can actually see the first launch. Actually, no, it's the second launch that you can see. And they have really amazing see-through LED screens, so you actually see the raptors run along with the coaster in that scene of the queue. That's absolutely amazing. We have a video of that. We're going to post that. And then the next scene of the queue is a smaller room, and Mr. DNA actually explains how the locker system works. The locker system is really unique, and it allows you to put items in on one side and then take them out on the other side, on the exit side. So you're able to bring your items through the queue up until the lockers. So after you put your stuff in the lockers, the only thing you keep on you is your park ticket, so you can't really do a POV on the ride. I know that there are some point of view videos out there. I think the only way that you'd be able to do a point of view video, if somebody wants to send us a pair of like spy glasses, you know, that have the cameras built into the sunglasses, then maybe we can do a point of view video for you. But it wouldn't be safe to have anything heavier than glasses on this thing. It moves a lot. So um, now leasing coming soon. I don't I don't know what you're leasing or coming soon, Lauren, but okay. Um, so after you put your stuff in the lockers, you enter like the main pre-show room, and you meet Claire from Jurassic World, and she kind of meets you, says hello from the control center, and then she takes you live to the Raptor paddocks, where you see Chris Pratt's character, and he's like, no, 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 no. Why are you doing this? This is a horrible idea. Why on earth? What is wrong with you that you would put a roller coaster through Raptor paddocks? I've been with them since birth. They are basically killing machines. Yada yada yada. And this video is one of the funniest pre-show videos I have ever seen. Like, it is clearly just Chris Pratt's character yelling at you. It's like, what is wrong with you? Don't go on this thing. And Claire, if people are insisting on going on it, make sure you have them sign waivers, because they're going to get eaten by raptors. So, man, that was so funny. And that one lasts a few minutes, and then you move forward, and then the loading area is right there. So you might not even be able to see that entire video, but I stuck around and watched it and actually increased the. I was nice. I got out of this main queue and stood aside and let people go in front of me, just because I wanted to see the entire video. But it's a really funny video. After that, you board. There's a separate line for the front row. It's a great system there. That line is probably, it added about a good 20 or 30 minutes to my wait time, though, because they're only running 2 trains right now. They can run 4 trains at the same time, but they have 5 trains total, so they have a spare. It's just an amazing ride. How long is the wait on the new Harry Potter ride? It's actually closed right now due to technical difficulties. It might come back up later. I'm sorry. If you're talking about Hagrid's, I assume. So, anyway, you get on the ride, and I did wait for the front row, and I loved doing that. So I'm not sure that everyone will want to wait that extra 30 minutes, but I enjoyed it. And to be honest, you might want to wait for the back row, because you might get a little bit more airtime at the very top of the hill. I didn't have as much airtime as the people in the back of the train, so maybe the back of the row. I'm going to try to come back as soon as I can and ride in the back row. And I'll let you know if it's better in the front or the back, or maybe even the middle. Who knows? There are a couple rides that are just better that way. So after the train departs the station, you enter the first launch area. And as Chris Pratt has explained, not Chris Pratt, but his character has explained, the Raptors are going to be running with you. So you will run through the Raptor paddock. You're on a coaster, and the Raptors are going to be released at the same time. And you see them run out, from the sides. And these are, projection screens on the sides of you, or LEDs. I'm not sure. It's hard to tell the technology they're using. And then you go and you blast off. And then you go into the second launch, and you actually see the Raptors again running alongside you. And after the second launch, it's just about the coaster. I mean, there are some statues of Raptors along that are, pretty well-designed statues, but they're just statues. They're not animatronics on the ride track. So it is quite amazing. You do go upside down. I think we went upside down 3 or 4 times. I mean, that's what it felt like. I'm not sure if that's accurate for how many inversions. Feel free to leave a comment if you know exactly how many inversions there are. But man, it was really cool. And you really do feel like you're going to fly out, because there's no over-the-shoulder restraint on this thing. The lap bar comes down, but it's just a lap bar, and it fits, in between your feet. It's like a T-shaped lap bar. This one's actually a little bit more comfortable. I'm a bigger guy, so it was very comfortable. I felt like I was secure enough, but I also felt like I was going to fall out. And I know that's weird to say, because it's almost like an oxymoron, but that's really how I felt. And you really go up that high. So amazing attraction. And the length of the thing was just fantastic, especially since you're going that fast. Nathan says, if you could only choose one, what would you recommend, Hagrid's or VelociCoaster? Oh man, Nathan, that's a tough one. If I had a family, I'd probably recommend Hagrid's, especially if I'm a Harry Potter fan, because that is much more of a family coaster. This one's a little bit more extreme. If you are a coaster fan and you just want the most extreme thrills you can get in this park, you're looking at this and Hulk. And Hulk is showing its age at this point. So I would definitely, go with this. This is, yeah, yeah. If you love coasters, this one for pure coaster dynamics. Can I say that? That's actually a name of a game, I think. But yeah, for if you're purely about the stats of a coaster and how awesome it is and how fast you go and how extreme it is, this is an extreme coaster, absolutely, and this will get the adrenaline rushing, absolutely. So I would say yes, if you're a big coaster fan, VelociCoaster for sure. If you are more about story-driven stuff, unless you're a huge Jurassic Park fan, in which case, by all means, VelociCoaster. But the Harry Potter fans and the story-driven people will like Hagrid's motorbike adventure a little bit more. So there it is. I think that might be it. If you have any other questions, I'll stick around for another minute or two. But I think I'm going to end the live stream and start going over to Mardi Gras. I might do another live stream later at Mardi Gras. So please be sure to like and subscribe. I know some of Hey, sorry guys, my phone overheated there for a second, but we're about to end this anyway. So please like and subscribe. Q is for Quan. Quan is for Quandary. But please like and subscribe if you enjoy getting our content from Mice Chat. Absolutely like and subscribe. follow us on Twitter and Instagram. We are at Mice Chat for both of those. On Facebook, we have the Mice Chat group and the Mice Book page. So please absolutely like and subscribe. I'm Bill. I hope you had a great time today. Thank you for joining me for the preview of the annual pass holder preview of VelociCoaster. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.